During live broadcast, he laughed, hiding her award. Witness her incredible life-changing response. Emma Collins felt the weight of the world on her shoulders as she entered the community center, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and dread. Today was the day she had secretly hoped for. The annual live broadcast ceremony honoring nurses. As she glanced at the sea of people, she spotted her two young children, Mia and Noah, waving enthusiastically at their mom. Every hour she spent working at the clinic and caring for her elderly neighbors was for them. She wanted them to have something to admire, something to believe in. But deep inside, Emma felt invisible. As the ceremony began, the spotlight buzzed with energy, highlighting the sacrifices made by nurses everywhere. She daydreamed about what it would be like to hear her name called, to feel that warmth of recognition wash over her. Yet, her heart sank when she heard Matt's name echo through the vast space, and someone else's laughter boomed beside her. There he was, basking in the limelight, while she felt the familiar sting of resentment twist inside her, like a knife. Matt, her colleague who often took the credit for their team's hard work, stood with an unmistakable smirk as he made fun of the very nomination that was supposed to celebrate her contributions. "And here's the real nurse of the year," he chuckled, waving around Emma's own award. The laughter enveloped her, choking her dreams and making her feel smaller than she'd ever felt before. Just as despair threatened to swallow her whole, something unexpected began to unfold. One by one, the patients Emma served emerged, stepping into the spotlight to share their stories. Old Mrs. Henderson, whose hands trembled as she held the microphone, spoke of how Emma brought her soup every Tuesday, never missing a week. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she listened to the stories of families healed, lives transformed, all because of her touch, her heart. Each voice lifted up Emma's silent battle, illuminating her dedication. A wave of emotion surged through the crowd, a palpable shift that wrapped around her like a warm embrace. With every story shared, Emma's heart swelled with pride and validation she feared she might never receive. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. In that moment, surrounded by love, Emma dusted off the remnants of her doubt. She rose, her confidence taking root, a fierce determination bubbling within her. She wouldn't let Matt's thoughtless jest define her anymore. With poise and unwavering dignity, she stood to confront the audience and her colleague, ready to declare her worth. "I am here, and I care for every single person who needs it. And this nomination, this life I've chosen, speaks of compassion and selflessness far beyond a flashy title." The tension hung in the air like the stillness before a thunderstorm. Everyone held their breath, including Emma, knowing that she stood on the brink of transformation not just for herself, but for the countless unsung heroes around her. As the broadcast faded to black, anticipation swirled like leaves in the autumn wind. Would Emma's brave stand change her life's path and perhaps inspire a movement of recognition and acceptance for those fighting their own quiet battles? The crowd's eyes glimmered with hope and uncertainty, waiting to see just how far a single act of courage could ripple through their small town. The audience erupted in applause, their faces a mixture of admiration and support. Emma felt a rush, the kind that coursed through her veins, igniting her spirit. It was exhilarating to witness her truth being embraced by those around her. As she returned to her seat, Mia and Noah jumped up, their faces radiating pride. In that moment, Emma knew she had done something significant not just for herself, but for them. Matt appeared less amused now, his bravado deflated. He stood awkwardly, shifting on his feet, the smirk wiped off his face. Emma exchanged glances with him, a silent acknowledgement of the power that had just been unleashed. The laughter that once belonged to him now drifted away like the weight of a forgotten burden. As the ceremony progressed, Emma's mind overflowed with thoughts and possibilities. She was tired of feeling trapped in the shadows. Tonight was just the beginning. After the last speaker finished their heartfelt story, the MC returned to the stage, announcing the nominees for the final award of the night. Emma's heart raced again, but this time it felt different. There was no fear or anxiety, Only hope. When her name finally echoed through the community center, a wave of joy surged within her. The applause was thunderous, drowning out any doubt still lingering in her mind. With every step toward the stage, Emma felt lighter, her spirit soaring. As she reached the podium, she caught a glimpse of her children, their smiles bright with pride. This was for them, and she wouldn't just represent herself. She represented all the uncelebrated nurses who quietly worked behind the scenes. Thank you everyone, she began, her voice steady. I stand here not just for myself but for every caregiver. Every kind act that often goes unseen. She took a deep breath, looking out into the crowd, giving everything she had to the moment. I've learned through the years that true worth is not in the accolades but in the impact we have on others. Suddenly, she felt a wave of emotion wash over her, and she fought back tears. I want each of you to know that your support means the world. You've reminded me that I am not invisible. I matter, and so does every person we care for. The crowd erupted once more, and Emma felt overwhelmed by the kindness emanating from them. For the first time she felt truly seen. Matt, however, remained unmoved. His expression a mix of confusion and resentment. It was as if a switch had flipped inside him. Instead of coming forward to congratulate her, he turned away, clutching his own award tightly, casting a shadow on the recognition he had sought so fiercely. After the ceremony, Emma was surrounded by friends, colleagues, and patients. They filled the community center with laughter and sharing, a space healing from whispers and hidden hurt. As she embraced Mrs. Henderson and others who had spoken on her behalf, Emma let the love and support sink in. But just as she thought the night couldn't get any better, a familiar voice called out from behind her. Emma! It was Dr. Wilson, a prominent leading figure in the clinic. He approached with a serious expression, eyes narrowing slightly. Can we talk? It's about something important. Emma's heart skipped a beat. What could it be? Her mind raced, uncertainty creeping back in. Did Matt say something? Was there trouble ahead? As Dr. Wilson beckoned her away from the crowd, the joy of the night faded into a crisp apprehension. She took a deep breath. What could he possibly tell her that might change everything again? Dr. Wilson led Emma to a quieter corner, away from the buzz of the crowd. The sound of laughter and applause faded, leaving an eerie silence between them. She could see the concern etched on his face as he gathered his thoughts. Emma, I have to be honest with you, he began, his tone serious but gentle. I heard some unsettling rumors about Matt. Some of the things he has been saying, well, they've raised red flags. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. She had imagined Matt sulking or feeling resentful, but this was something different. What kind of rumors? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. The proud moment she had just experienced suddenly felt fragile, like a bubble ready to pop. Dr. Wilson paused, choosing his words carefully. He has been making claims about you and your accomplishments. It's causing some concern among the board members. They fear it could affect the clinic's reputation. Her mind raced as she absorbed the implications. She had fought too hard to gain recognition, to stand up for herself and the work she loved. The thought of someone trying to undermine that made her blood boil. What exactly did he say? Was it just jealousy? Dr. Wilson shook his head. It's not simple jealousy, Emma. There are specific allegations. He is suggesting that your award was undeserved, that you didn't earn it through your work but through manipulation. For a moment, all the noise around them faded completely. She felt as if she were submerged underwater, fighting to hold her breath. Anger surged within her, a fierce tide that had been building for years. He is lying, she said, her voice breaking slightly. I've poured my heart and soul into that clinic, every long night and every ounce of care I gave to my patients. How can he say that? I know, Dr. Wilson replied softly, and many of us know it too. But sometimes whispers can grow louder than the truth. I'm here to support you, but I need to know how you want to handle this. Emma closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of the decision before her. She could let this slide and endure more of Matt's malicious behavior, or she could stand her ground, fight back and reclaim her narrative. Do you think it's worth addressing publicly? She asked, the uncertainty creeping back. What if I get it wrong? What if this only fuels the fire? Dr. Wilson put a comforting hand on her shoulder. It's about your truth, Emma. You can't let someone else dictate how your story is told. You have a chance to inspire others, To show that standing up for yourself is vital even when it's hard. The words seemed to settle into her heart, lighting a spark of courage she hadn't expected. She thought of Mia and Noah, their bright eyes watching her, learning from her actions. They needed to see resilience, needed to know how to fight for their voices. I want to address it, Emma declared, her resolve hardening. I want to speak with the board and clear my name on my terms. I want them to hear my truth and see the hard work behind my passion. Good, Dr. Wilson nodded, pride glimmering in his eyes. When you're ready, I'll help you prepare for it. Just remember, your voice matters. As she stepped away from the conversation, adrenaline coursing through her veins, she felt a sense of purpose replacing the earlier anxiety. This was her path to forge not just for herself but for everyone who had been silenced. But just as she was about to join the celebration again, a thought snagged in her mind. What if confronting Matt ignited something darker, something she couldn't foresee? Would she find the strength to face him? Or would the shadow of his words linger over her hard-won victory? Emma took a deep breath and glanced back at the crowd. The joyful chatter felt distant now, like she was on the outside looking in. She needed to process everything. The thought of facing Matt, of confronting the person who had tried to tear down everything she built, filled her with both dread and determination. As she walked through the crowd, her mind raced. How could someone be so cruel? Didn't he know the sacrifices she had made? Every late night, every tear shed over difficult cases, those were the reasons she had stood up to accept that award in the first place. She felt the sharp edge of betrayal acutely. It wasn't just about defending her reputation anymore. It was about protecting the values that had guided her throughout her career. Emma! A voice broke her thoughts. It was Mia, her mentee, eyes sparkling with admiration as she approached. Did you see that the board members were discussing your award while you were speaking? They were all nodding. You were amazing. Mia's enthusiasm sparked a warmth in Emma's chest, but it quickly faltered, clouded by her worries. Thanks, Mia, Emma replied, forcing a smile. But things just took a turn. I've got some challenges ahead of me. Mia sensed the shift in her mentor's mood. You can handle it, right? You've always fought for what you believe in. We all see that. You're a fighter. Emma felt a swell of pride mixed with confusion at Mia's unwavering faith in her. But as she looked into Mia's hopeful gaze, something clicked within Emma. You're right, she said, her voice steady this time. I can't let fear dictate my actions. I need to push forward with my head held high. In the midst of her personal turmoil, she realized that this moment wasn't just about her. It was about showing others the truth of resilience. As they stood together, Emma decided she would take the stage, and not just for herself but for anyone who had ever felt dismissed. Let us find Dr. Wilson, Emma said, gripping Mia's hand tightly. They wove through the party until they spotted him, chatting with a couple of colleagues. He turned towards them, a knowing look passing over his face as he saw the determination in Emma's eyes. Dr. Wilson, Emma said, interrupting their conversation. I want to do this now. I'll address the board and confront the rumors today. Today? Dr. Wilson replied, surprise etched on his face. Are you sure? I thought we'd prepare first. Right now I don't want to let any more time pass. I need to act. I need to regain control over my story. She felt a rush of adrenaline coursing through her, giving her strength. Mia squeezed her hand. You'll kick butt, Emma. We're all rooting for you. Emma nodded, bolstered by the overwhelming support around her. She turned to Dr. Wilson, her heart pounding like a drum. Let us find the board. They need to hear my truth, and I'm ready to share it. The trio slipped away from the festive atmosphere, moving toward the quiet yet charged meeting room in the back. Each step felt heavy but purposeful. They were on the brink of something significant. As they reached the door, Emma hesitated. What if Matt was waiting inside? What if his lies had twisted the very people she had trusted? The emotional stakes felt higher than ever. Taking a deep breath, she pushed the door open. Inside, she was met with a sea of expectant faces. The tense silence enveloped her, and she steeled herself. Her voice trembled slightly but was unwavering. Thank you all for being here. I'm here to clear something up. And just as she began to speak, the door creaked open again, revealing someone she never expected to see. Her breath caught in her throat. What now? Who was it? What would happen next? Emma's heart raced. The figure standing in the doorway was Jason, her former mentor, a man she revered, now an unanticipated presence amidst the turbulent storm she was about to weather. His once warm smile was now replaced with a look of caution, a flicker of regret she could read from across the room. "Emma," he said softly, stepping inside. The board members turned their heads, murmurings swelling in the sharp silence. "I came as soon as I heard. I didn't want to miss this." "What do you mean?" Emma took a half step forward, the tension in her chest tightening. For years Jason had been her guiding light, a steady presence during her rise. But his sudden reappearance now felt like an intrusion. His gaze dropped for a moment. "I know you're hurt. I know what Matt said was out of line. But there are things I should what, Jason?" Emma interrupted, frustration spilling over. "This isn't about you or your vetting of facts anymore. This is about my truth. I'm ready to reclaim it." Dr. Wilson glanced nervously between Emma and Jason, unsure of how to diffuse the situation. "Maybe we should know." Emma's voice rang out with an assertiveness that surprised even her. "This is my moment." Jason took a deep breath, raising his hands in surrender. "Then let us do this together. If you'll let me." With a single stalwart nod, Emma signaled for him to take a seat. She returned her focus to the board, their eyes glued to her, filled with curiosity and speculation. "I didn't envision standing here today with rumors swirling around me," she began, her voice gaining strength. "But I refuse to be circumscribed by someone else's narrative." The tension in the air shifted slightly as she harnessed her vulnerability, weaving it into her words. "I've devoted my life to service, to advocacy. I fight for people who feel unseen just as I am feeling now. The accusations, lies aim to undermine all that I've built." The room absorbed her passionate plea. But any relief she felt was quickly overshadowed by the image of Matt, lurking just outside her mind's borders. Would he try to poke holes in her story? Emma we've seen your determination. But this time it was one of the board members, a well-regarded doctor who had always seemed supportive. "You need to acknowledge the concerns we've had regarding there's been no concern," Emma interjected boldly. "Only malice driven by competition. And I refuse to stand by and let it define me." Just then Jason interjected. "I've known Emma for years. I can attest to her integrity and her unyielding commitment to her work. I've watched her dedicate herself to caring for others, even at her own expense. What more proof do you need of her character?" The board members shifted weight in their seats, glancing at one another, clearly taken aback by his defense. Emma's heart beat faster as she regarded Jason. It felt as if he was standing in front of her, holding a shield against the chaos that threatened to envelop her. Before she could continue, Mia broke the silence from behind her, her voice trembling but resolute. "You guys don't know Emma the way we do. The way she fights, the way she cares for people. Enough is enough." The words hung in the air, echoing between the members of the board, who appeared unsettled by the passion emanating from this young woman. Emma looked over her shoulder at Mia, gratitude flooding her. She shifted back, locking eyes with the board. "I deserve the chance to be heard. I need you to reevaluate your positions, not just on my work and my award, but on the values of this institution. Values of truth, honesty, and integrity." As the door opened slightly again, Emma's breath caught once more. The figure of Matt filled the doorway, his face obscured by shadows. "Emma," he began, and the crowd tensed, waiting for what he would say next. Could this unravel everything she had fought for? What new twist would come from his mouth? Emma's heart thudded in her chest, each pulse echoing the weight of the moment. The room seemed to shrink as Matt stepped fully into the light, his demeanor calm yet menacing. He always knew how to command an audience, and as all eyes turned to him, Emma could feel the shift in energy. They were waiting to see if he would confirm their suspicions or dismantle the fragile web of support she'd just woven. "Why are you here, Matt?" Emma challenged, her voice steady despite the storm brewing inside. "What could you possibly say that would clarify anything?" He smirked, an expression devoid of warmth. "I'm here for the truth, Emma. Your version of events is as skewed as the stories you've been spinning for years." A nervous murmur rippled through the board members. Emma turned to Jason, seeking reassurance, but he nodded supportively, ready to stand by her. She could feel Mia's anxious energy pulsing behind her, encouraging her to be strong. "This isn't just about you, Matt. Emma said fiercely, wielding her words like a sword. It's about the countless people who rely on our work, who trust us to elevate their voices, not silence them. Matt stepped closer, his tone dripping with sarcasm. Is that what you tell yourself every day in the mirror? That you're the hero of your story? Enough, Jason interjected, rising from his seat. The heat of his challenge boiled over, igniting a surge of power in the room. This personal vendetta has no place here. Emma is not the one under scrutiny. You are. Emma's resolve steadied with Jason's boldness. She could feel the board leaning in, the tension palpable, a tide ready to crest. This is about values, Emma said, about caring for people with dignity. You're attacking someone who shows compassion to those you refuse to understand. There was a moment of silence, an unexpected pause that gave her time to gather her thoughts. She knew she had to expose Matt's manipulations without losing her composure. If my work is flawed, prove it. Don't just hide behind your empty words. Let us discuss the facts. Matt's mask of confidence cracked slightly, a flicker of irritation crossing his face. In that split second, Emma sensed victory. She was fighting back the tidal wave of doubt he had tried to engulf her in. The board exchanged worried glances, their eyes darting between the two like spectators at a thrilling boxing match. One whispered something to her neighbor, something about integrity and honesty. With renewed determination, Emma continued, You may think you've won, Matt, but stripping away my dignity won't work. I've built my life on authenticity, and that's a legacy far stronger than anything you can attempt to destroy. I invite you show them what you've been hiding. Show them the truth. Matt's face turned red, the tension crackling like electricity in the room. You're playing a dangerous game, Emma. Then let's play. Her voice was resolute, loud enough to echo off the walls. The board members leaned in closer now, intrigued and restless. They were clinging to her every word. Emma had summoned an unseen well of strength, but she knew it was fragile and relied on the support surrounding her. Matt's eyes narrowed, and it was clear he wasn't finished. This isn't over. As he stepped back into the shadows of the doorway, Emma's heart raced again, but now it was filled with hope. Let us continue, she urged, turning back to the board. I'm not afraid to face this head-on. I came to fight for my truth, and I will not back down. Her spirit soared, feeling the foundations of her fight solidifying in front of her. But would the board members see her truth or cave to Matt's intimidation tactics? As the tension in the room thickened once more, Emma knew the battle was far from over. What would Matt do next? Would her plea for integrity be enough to sway them? Or would darkness fall back into the light she had so bravely begun to reclaim? Emma took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on her. She watched as several board members leaned in, uncertainty etched on their faces. The air felt thick, charged with anticipation. She had to forge ahead, no matter how intimidating the landscape ahead appeared. Let us talk about the work we do, she said, her voice rising above the low murmurs. The partnerships we've built and the lives we've changed. That's why we're here, isn't it? To make a difference. A few members nodded, but Matt's shadow loomed large over the room. His silence was unnerving, yet it simmered like a pot about to boil over. Emma locked eyes with Jason. His expression was a mixture of support and concern, a reminder that she wasn't alone in this. Matt, Emma continued, her tone steady. You claim to seek the truth, but tell me, whose truth are you after? Yours or the people we serve? His smirk turned into a tight-lipped frown. You've dodged the real issues long enough, Emma. This isn't about community outreach. This is about accountability. The word hung in the air like a storm cloud, darkening the mood. Emma could feel a knot tightening in her stomach. She had always known that transparency was essential, yet this felt like an ambush. Still, she wouldn't back down. Accountability? Then let us hold ourselves to the same standard. Show us the evidence of what you claim. What are your sources? Matt seemed taken aback for a moment. For just a heartbeat he looked unsteady. You really want to go there? He challenged, his voice sharper. You think your image is so pristine? Let us not forget how your past is riddled with mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, Matt. Emma shot back, her heart racing. But it's how we respond to them that defines us. She saw some head nods around the board again, and it strengthened her resolve. I've dedicated years to improving our impact. I stand here open and honest, asking the questions that matter. At that moment, Mia stepped forward, her usually timid voice now bold. And aren't we just human after all? We're here to uplift each other. Emma's mistakes don't diminish the cause. They enhance her understanding of it. That's real growth. Emma felt a surge of hope, realizing she didn't have to fight this battle alone. Mia's words created a ripple of murmurs as others began to nod in agreement. In that moment, she understood the power of collaboration, their collective belief in their mission bringing them together. Suddenly, Matt's frustration turned to anger, his voice rising. Be careful, Emma. You're stepping into deep waters. This could ruin you, and it could also empower me, she interrupted, feeling a rush of adrenaline. I'm not afraid to showcase my vulnerabilities. I will not hide from the truth or the impact I make. So bring whatever you have. Silence fell. The board members exchanged glances filled with uncertainty, but Emma saw a shift, a small crack in Matt's facade. Perhaps he was beginning to realize he couldn't break her spirit. Perhaps she was beginning to turn the tide. But just as Emma prepared to press her advantage, the doors swung open. The room gasped collectively and Matt's eyes widened. A new person burst in, their face unreadable. Was it another board member? Or had someone come to intervene? Matt, the newcomer said, scanning the room. I have something important to share that changes everything. Emma's heart stopped. What news could unravel this intense confrontation? Would this person be a lifeline or a turning point toward disaster? She could only wait and see. The room held its breath as the newcomer swept in. Emma felt the sudden chill of uncertainty, her defenses rising. Who was this person? What could they possibly have to say that would change everything? Who are you? Matt demanded, irritation flooding his voice, trying to reassert his dominance over the meeting. I'm Sam, the newcomer replied, adjusting a pair of glasses that slipped down the bridge of their nose. I've been working with the team analyzing our community outreach metrics. Sam moved further into the room, scanning faces like an artist examining a canvas. And I've found something revealing. Emma's heart raced. Could this be the ammunition they needed against Matt's relentless assault? What could possibly be so important that it interrupts this meeting? Matt sneered, attempting to regain control of the atmosphere. Sam didn't flinch. I'd rather not get into any of the negativity right now. Instead, let us talk about the positive impact your organization has made in the last quarter. Sam smiled, and for a fleeting moment warmth filled the air. Positive impact? Matt echoed, eyes narrowing. Are you really going to stand there and pretend everything is fine? Actually, yes, Sam insisted. If you pull back, you'll see that our community engagement has risen by over 30% in the last year. And our support groups have helped dozens of people regain their confidence and rebuild their lives. They glanced at Emma. You've been an important part of this effort, haven't you, Emma? Absolutely, Emma replied, her voice gaining strength. She could feel everyone's eyes shifting between her and Sam, the tide slowly turning. Every relationship we've built, every life touched, speaks to our commitment and the change we're fostering together. That's sweet and all, Matt interjected, his tone dripping with sarcasm. But I still want to know where you're hiding the failures. No organization is perfect. Sam's gaze locked onto Matt's, unyielding. Sure, we've made mistakes, but it's the growth from those mistakes that defines our character. We're evolving as a unit. Isn't that what you'd want to highlight instead of just tearing people down? Emma felt a rush of energy. Sam's words were a lifeline. The board looked around as if they were finally waking from a spell of doubt, and Emma saw understanding on some faces. But Matt's expression darkened, and he leaned into his Leviathan role. I still believe this will come back to bite you both. You think hiding the truth will shield you? Sam stepped forward, unwavering. Hiding what? The truth is about progress and change, something we should all be proud of. Matt, what are you really afraid of? That we might actually succeed. Silence settled again, pregnant with tension. Emma's heart raced as the potential for a breakthrough flickered like a candle in a storm. She could sense the shift among the board members, a collective rebellion against Matt's shadow. But then Matt looked away, a shadow passing across his face. You think this changes anything? I'm not the only one with dirt waiting to get uncovered. A chill ran through the room. Emma felt her stomach twist. Did Matt have something else in store? Was this new dilemma lurking just beneath the surface? Let us not go there, Matt, Sam cautioned, but Emma could see Matt's eyes searching for something to hold on to. Something to swing the momentum back in his favor. Emma fought to keep her voice steady. We're not here to fight each other, but to move forward. To uplift this community and each other. What else do you hide that could spark this judgment? Let us talk about it. The tension was palpable. Emma's pulse quickened as she waited for Matt's answer. Would he reveal something that could unravel everything? Or was he finally pushed into a corner where he had no choice but to back down? All eyes were on Matt, and Emma could feel the weight of anticipation pressing down on her. She could almost hear the heartbeat of the room, waiting for the answer that could change it all. Would the truth finally break loose? The silence stretched as Matt's gaze darted around the room. Emma could practically hear the wheels turning in his mind. She felt the tension rising again, thick and electric. With each passing moment, hope flickered and danced in her chest. Would he finally expose himself, or would he cling tighter to his dark secrets? Finally, Matt scoffed, the smirk creeping back onto his face. You really think a little community engagement makes everything rosy? There are shadows that need highlighting. He leaned forward, eyes narrowing as if challenging them to look deeper. Sam crossed their arms, determination set in their posture. What shadows, Matt? You're the one casting doubt over our achievements. The board members shifted uncomfortably, the unease in the air bubbling to the surface. Emma felt their eyes on her, as if seeking affirmation of the growing optimism that was still fragile. The glimmers of doubt in the room, the cracks in Matt's facade were promising, but they had yet to break him. Matt exhaled sharply, frustration bubbling over. Fine. I'll play. Do you want to know about Kevin? Isn't he a paragon of our good intentions? Emma's stomach dropped. Kevin was a team favorite, always upbeat and genuinely caring. What are you talking about? She pressed, desperation pooling in her voice. Matt straightened, a smirk twisting his lips. You didn't know? He's facing allegations, something about mismanagement of the funds, possibly pocketing a few for personal use. We're not perfect, Emma, and this little fairy tale you're spinning is about to shatter. Gasps echoed around the room. Emma's heart sank as panic seeped into her bones. This was fresh and no one had mentioned it before. How could this be happening? No, that can't be true. Emma yelled, her voice trembling. Kevin wouldn't do that. You're just trying to manipulate us. Am I? Matt countered, reveling in the chaos. Do you really think I'd throw around accusations if they weren't grounded? Tears stung Emma's eyes. She could see Sam's face, a mix of concern and resolve. Something had to be done. They couldn't let Matt keep twisting the narrative. But how could they fight against a storm like this? Listen, Matt, Sam interjected, their voice steady but urgent. If we start throwing accusations around, we're no better than your fear-mongering. If Kevin is innocent, we'll all look like fools for jumping to conclusions. Allow us to investigate together instead. Matt grinned, relishing the tension that followed. A fine idea, but don't think for a second that you'll uncover just simple truths. We'll see how far this goes. If Kevin is guilty, he'll drag down everything with him, including your little dreams. The room was electric with uncertainty. Emma's heart raced as panic, sadness, and determination collided within her. Was this the end? Or a new beginning? Then let us make our commitments clear, Emma blurted. If he's innocent, we return in full force beneath his leadership. But if he's guilty, we must stand united for the community's sake to bring him to justice. Matt's grin faltered for a moment, but he quickly masked it with contempt. Unity? You think that's enough? Power falls in the hands of those who know how to crush dissent. The intensity in the air shifted again. Emma's mind raced. They had to hold on to keep fighting for what they believed in, but they also had to confront the darkness like never before. What are you hiding, Matt? Sam's voice sliced through the tension, demanding answers from the shadows. As Emma's heart thudded in her chest, she realized. This wasn't just a battle for Kevin's reputation. This was a fight for their entire mission, for the truth. And in the silence that followed, they all awaited the answer that could alter everything. What truths lay buried beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed? Would the foundations of their work shatter or solidify in the wake of what was to come? The room felt electric, a charged silence engulfing everyone as they waited for Matt's response. Emma could see the wall of confidence he had erected begin to crack. Beneath that bravado, she sensed his fear, and it fueled her resolve. "Why don't you tell them, Matt?" Emma pressed, her voice firm, unwavering. "Tell everyone about your role in all of this. You know just as well as I do that shadows don't belong to one person alone." With each word, the air thickened with anticipation. The board members exchanged nervous glances, uncertainty written on their faces. Sam stood beside Emma, unyielding, and Mia's determined eyes mirrored her mother's strength. Matt's bravado faltered. For the first time he hesitated, racked by his own turmoil. "You think you know everything, don't you, Emma?" he replied, though his voice lacked the usual venom. "You can't play nice and expect to win. This is a game and I have all the cards." "Then let us lay them on the table." Emma shot back, the fire of determination igniting within her. "Not just the cards but the entire deck, Matt. What are you really afraid of?" The room held its collective breath, hushed murmurs spreading through the audience. Emma could feel it, a shift was happening, and they were beginning to see through Matt's carefully constructed facade. "Fine," Matt finally said, his voice rising with exasperation. "I'm afraid of a crumbling empire. I'm afraid of losing my control over all of you." Gasps erupted from the board members, and suddenly the momentum shifted. "I will not let this organization become a casualty of your naivete," he continued, his facade cracking more with every syllable. "You all think you stand united, but your fractures are more profound than you know. Your beliefs are threads waiting to snap." Emma stepped closer, heart pounding but steady. "Then let us take the leap. Discover whatever darkness you believe lingers. This is our chance to find unity rather than crumble under fear." The room murmured again as back and forth emerged between board members, their dialogue shifting from alarm to curiosity. They were re-evaluating their perceptions, the very foundation of Matt's power wobbling beneath his claims. Jason, still present, took charge of the rising voices, stepping forward. "This moment isn't about blame. It's about accountability and clarity. Emma has shined a light on this crisis, and we have a duty to not only support her, but also to uncover the truth behind our operations." Matt's irritation simmered beneath the surface. Emma could see his eyes darting, assessing his options. "You think you can just flip the script and gain their favor? This isn't over," he spat. A newfound confidence surged within Emma. "No, Matt. We're just beginning. Because the truth is stronger than your lies. The community that we serve deserves our honesty, and together, we will secure our legacy through transparency. For our patients, for our families, for each other." In the wake of her impassioned plea, a powerful wave of applause echoed through the room. The board, once fragmented, started to unify, a shared understanding simmering in the air. Sam turned to Emma, pride radiating from their face. Mia jumped into her mother's embrace, tears of joy gleaming in their eyes. Matt appeared trapped among those he once commanded. "You think this is your victory? You have no idea what manipulation is capable of." "Then show us," Jason challenged, stepping closer. "Reveal your truths and let the cards fall as they may. The community's strength lies in its ability to withstand chaos, not crumble at the hands of it." The silence in the room thickened as Matt's expression transformed from defiance to something almost vulnerable. "You don't know what you're asking for, Emma. The truth has a way of lingering far beyond mere accusations, far beyond what you think you can handle. I won't be the only one affected." Emma took a deep breath. "Then let us take that risk together. We can create a culture of healing instead of fear, where everyone feels safe to speak their truth. Because any darkness hiding will only be exposed in light that inspires change." Matt backed away slightly, his bravado waning, and Emma felt the shift resonate throughout the board. They were beginning to understand the essence of unity, the shields of judgment slowly disintegrating. Suddenly a board member stood, their resolve compelling. "I believe we owe it to ourselves and everyone involved to investigate these claims with integrity. We will hold each other accountable, just as Emma has shown us." One by one, others nodded in agreement, echoing the sentiment. Willingness to embrace the light catalyzed a wave of unity surging through the room. Emma's heart soared at the blossoming support, echoing the heartbeat of hope that had echoed within her chest since the beginning. She was no longer drowning under doubt but soaring on a wave of affirmation, her life transforming into a beacon for others. As the board began to draft follow-up measures, the collective voice granting both Emma and the community strength pulsed in her veins. She caught Jason's eye, and they shared an unspoken understanding. Matt, on the other hand, seemed increasingly isolated. The wavering ground he was standing on now felt less certain, and as the tide turned, he stepped back, unable to regain a foothold amid the unity evolving. "Let us remember," Emma said, her voice rising once more. "This moment isn't just about protecting reputations, but embracing vulnerability. We all make mistakes, but the reality is that how we respond defines our legacy." In that instant, Emma felt the power of community envelop her like a warm embrace. As if cementing a collective promise, hands reached into the air, uniting, setting their intentions unshakably forward. No longer just an award-winning nurse, Emma had become a leader, a voice, shining with authenticity and a spirit determined to elevate the agents of change along the journey. As the meeting drew to a close, Emma stepped outside with Mia by her side, feeling lighter than she had ever imagined. A newfound coalition awaited them, ready to transform their shared experiences into pathways of hope. This is where healing begins. In honesty, in unity, and togetherness. Now the challenge ahead lay in nurturing their new foundation, growing stronger through truth rather than fear, hand in hand. That night, under the stars that shone brighter than they had in ages, Emma vowed to continue her journey. The heart of every story matters, and together, they would write the next beautiful chapter. Now more than ever, they would fight for what they believed, a legacy not bound by a single narrative, but blossomed through the strength of community. And as Emma gazed into the horizon, she felt a whisper of hope pass through her heart. Change was indeed possible, the kind that could stir souls and awaken hearts. Before you go, this is the moment to support this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel, so you don't miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to help us feed the algorithm and spread these powerful messages. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Let us know how you would fight for your truth. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support matters more than ever. And together, we can inspire the world.